Hi, Capricorn. So this reading is for the Sun in Capricorn or for the rising sign. And if you like, also your moon sign. And it's all about September 2023. All the astrological energies you need to know about to navigate the month ahead. So let's start. Let's start by actually asking you how you are. How are you coping with the really interesting energies? I always say that, don't I? But they are, and they have been quite tough. And of all the signs, I think even you have probably found you've been crumbling a bit under the pressure of this particular energy. But let's try and unpack a bit what this is about and see if we can find out the best way to manage the fact that we've got so many retrograde planets. It shouldn't have to be a problem, but it can sometimes feel as if we're blocked at every turn. But you know, sometimes that can be a blessing in disguise, because perhaps it's quite nice to have a rest and a little bit of time out. But let's have a look, because with the inner planets or the personal planets, both Venus and Mercury go direct this month. Now let's start with Venus. Venus, of course, is our planet of love, relationship, self-worth, and also of money. Now Venus has been retrograde in Leo in your 8th house. Now this is the part of your chart that really governs joint resources, or things that you might worry about, Capricorn, like pensions and investments and savings. But you know, Venus might have been being quite helpful and giving your kind of personal piggy bank a chance to kind of accrue again, to accrue a little bit of value to what's going on. Well, Venus is going direct on the 4th of September, but will stay in this part of your chart until October. So you still got the beneficial kind of effects of Venus in your 8th house for a few more weeks. Make the most of it. This is helpful. This is also about how you value yourself in terms of whatever you do with other people. If you are looking to go into business with someone on some kind of financial footing, make sure that you have all the details kind of, you know, in your control and looked at and scrutinized. Because remember, Mercury, our planet of communication, is retrograde. Now, the good news is that Mercury goes direct on the 15th of September. And it's been in your 9th house. It'll stay there for a while. The 9th house, remember, is the part of the chart to do with long distance travel, higher education. It can also be our spiritual aspirations. So the fact that Mercury is now going direct will speed things up for you. So if you've been wanting to make some travel plans or take a special holiday, then you'll find that suddenly things will flow more easily and you'll be able to get things done and booked up. And also with regard to anything that you might want to learn about, to kind of add a few more strings to your bow. This could be a really good time to have a look around and look at what it is that you would like to learn about. Now, we can't also forget about the big outer boy planets, because Jupiter, our planet of expansion, of luck, of opportunity, in Taurus, in your 5th house, as I naughtily call it, the house of fun. So Jupiter is here creating a lot of kind of interesting opportunities for you to to be a little bit creative and think about things in a slightly different way and actually literally have a bit of fun. Jupiter's going retrograde from the 4th of September. But as I said, don't worry about this. It's going to stay in your 5th house on and off for about a year. So actually, this is lovely energy to have here. Also, interestingly, if you were looking at starting a family, for example, this would be really super energy to allow your belly to expand a bit. So also on the 15th, we have the new moon in Virgo. And of course, this is in your 9th house. So this is the part of your chart to do with higher learning. This is where Mercury has been going retrograde and is now going direct. Now, this new moon brings an opportunity to really look at what you'd like to invite in to expand your knowledge over the next few months. That would be really super good use of this energy. And the new moon itself is trined, which is helpful, by our unpredictable planet Uranus, the planet of shocks and the unexpected, of surprise, which is retrograde, of course, in Taurus, in your house of fun. So it's a trine. It's about the unexpected. But you know what? This could actually bring an unexpected opportunity to travel that you would be actually quite pleased about. And maybe you need just a little bit of a change of scenery, a break from the normal routine. Let's move on a bit and see what is happening the day after the new moon on the 16th. This is quite interesting energy because what we will have for quite a few days is something that's known as a grand Earth trine. Now, one point of this grand Earth trine is the Sun in Virgo. Virgo, of course, is an Earth sign. And this is your 9th house of higher education. So do you see where I might be going with this? Pluto, retrograde in your sign Capricorn, of course in your 1st house, is also part of this trine. And then we have Uranus retrograde in Taurus, which is another Earth sign, in your house of fun. Now, this energy is going to last for a few days. And I want you to think of this energy as a bit of a kind of smorgasbord of a kind of divine primordial soup of creation and potential creativity. Let me explain. This is an Earth sign. So this is a soup based in the earth. This is where ideas as seeds can take root. Do you use a vision board? Well, what I'm going to suggest to you now goes against what a lot of kind of manifestation experts might say. And I don't have to be right, but in my experience, what you have to do is have your intent. So you might have your intent of that red Ferrari on your vision board, but do you know whether that would be actually very good for you? Because what I want to suggest is that what you do is you have your intent, your intentions of what you would like to invite in, manifest into your life, but don't be fixed about it. This grand Earth trine is fixed, cardinal, and mutable. It's balanced, but it's Earth. So it's rich soil to grow things in. And what you do is you have your intent and you let it take seed in this primordial soup. Then you let it go. As you let it go, because what you're doing is you're trusting and having faith that the divine, let's use that word collectively, the divine has your back and actually knows better than you and knows what is best for your highest good and the highest good of others. So can you see that the red Ferrari might not necessarily be the best way forward as we use that as a metaphor? So we have to allow the flow of the divine to work through us and guide us, show us the way to whether the intention we are throwing into our primordial soup is the best way forward for us. If we're fixed, if we're absolutely determined to have that particular intent, the divine can throw up her hands and say, oh, for goodness sake, then here you are. And then when you crash into a wall, says, well, I did warn you, but you did want it. So what I'm saying is we have to be very free in what we or how we use the law of attraction. It's about working in harmony with the divine energies, tuning into that frequency and allowing the divine to show us and manifest for us the path ahead as it unfolds and you see that road becoming clearer. And you will know because your gut will tell you that it's the right thing to do. So I know I spent a bit of time on that explanation. I have done it, however, for all the other signs, because I think it's a really important point to master about how actually the law of attraction works. So let's move on to the 23rd of September when we have the autumn equinox. Now this, of course, is when the sun moves into Libra. And this is your 10th house, which in loose terms is your career, your passion, your direction in life, what perhaps puts you out there in the public arena. If you don't work, if you're a stay-at-home person or a retired person, you may belong to an Amdram society, amateur dramatics. This could be putting you out there in front of the audience, acclaiming your wonderful acting talents. So, the house of career, loosely, has to be looked at in that full kind of kaleidoscope of vision. So the sun in this part of your chart is shedding light on the way forward for you with your career. Now, Venus, our planet of relationship, remember, and self-worth, love, money, in Leo direct now, in your 8th house of joint resources, is trining Chiron, our wounded healer. Now, Chiron is about that wound we all carry. There will be something that every now and then the scab comes off or comes loose and bleeds out your sadness around some element of your life. Could be about loss, could be about dreams that aren't accomplished, dreams that die. But that is what our Chiron wound can represent. Chiron can also, in some instances, literally represent our health. but I think it's more helpful to think of it symbolically. So Chiron's retrograde in Aries in your 4th house of home and family. And as I said, this is the 23rd of September. And basically the energy of this autumn equinox is saying you have an opportunity here to transform and heal some family rifts if they exist, or to just connect with family and just bring in some good positive feelings, to heal whatever wounds might be around. Now, before we finish your reading, we have to look to the full moon in Aries, which of course is also in your 4th house of home and family. And this is on the 29th of September. And Venus again is part of this particular astrological layout. Venus in Leo in the 8th house, remember that's shared resources, squares Uranus, retrograde in Taurus. This is your house of fun. This is a full moon. What do you have to let go of, give up on, let go of the idea of something that could be too costly, that you'd like, that would be fun? You have to think very carefully about whatever that is. Remember, whatever decisions we make in life, everything comes at a price. Everything. So, on that note, thank you so much for joining me for your September horoscope. And as you've probably noticed, I've dispensed with the 5 key points. Although there are 5 key points, I'm just presenting them in a slightly different way. And I'm saying this because I think it's so important that sometimes we constantly change the way we do things. It brings in new energy. It certainly brings in more life energy for me in doing them. If I kept doing everything that I'm recording in the same old way, I'd get so bored and I'd begin, and here's your September horoscopes, Capricorn, and this month. So do you see my point? It's so good to keep things moving and changing. You're a cardinal sign, Capricorn, don't forget that. Keep changing things, keep moving towards creating the best of the best. So, thank you for joining me for this September horoscope. Please remember to do all those wonderful things that you do, like, comment, subscribe. I love all your comments. I read them all. If I can't answer all of them, I'm sorry. I do my best within the time frames allowed. And in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you next time. So, bye for now.